Olá! Our class today is about the subjunctive, el subjuntivo. The subjunctive is not a tense, but rather a mood. In Spanish, the indicative mood that we learned before, inside the indicative mood you have the present, the past, the future. It's used to describe or refer to events that are certain, definite, and factual. For example, if you say, I work at Emmaus or I study at Emmaus, you'd use the indicative, the present of the indicative mood. Well, the subjunctive mood, on the other hand, it's used after certain verbs and expressions that communicate desire, doubt, emotion, necessity, will, or uncertainty. Noun clauses are dependent or subordinate clauses that function as the object of a preceding verb. And whenever you use the subjunctive mood, you're going to work with noun clauses or subordinate clauses, okay? So actually, this is the structure that you will see whenever you use the subjunctive. You're going to have a subject, a verb that expresses one of these meanings like desire or doubt, emotion, necessity, will, or uncertainty, the relative pronoun que, and then a noun clause or a subordinate clause using the present subjunctive. For example, in English I would say, I wish, because it's a desire, that que here represents that. It's a relative pronoun, something. That something in Spanish is always in the subjunctive. We are going to see some examples in Spanish pretty soon. First, let's see the uses of the subjunctive. The subjunctive is used to express a wish, a desire, or will, and also with expressions with ojalá. Let's talk about ojalá. Ojalá is an Arabic word that actually originally was o Allah, okay? But in Spain, especially in the south of Spain, they have a lot of Arabic influence, and people would say, oh Allah, like Allah God, when you wish something to God, when you want something, when you hope for something. And that word was combined and became a Spanish word, ojalá. So originally it was oh Allah, and now it's ojalá. So if you ask me the meaning of ojalá, it would be like I wish, I hope, okay, I pray to God, ojalá. Also, it's used with expressions of hope or emotion. For example, alegrarse, enfadarse, enojarse, esperar, estar contento de, lamentar, sentir, sorprender, temer, tener miedo de. It's very important that you study these verbs so you are able to recognize. So whenever you want to express something like that, you're using one of these verbs. Of course, right after the que, you have to use the subjunctive, okay? The subjunctive is also used for an impersonal expression. What is an impersonal expression? In English, an impersonal expression is when you say, it's a good idea that, it's good that, it's bad that, it's weird that. And in Spanish, you can recognize an impersonal expression when you see that as before a word. Es bueno que, es malo que, es importante que, es raro que, es posible que, es horrible que, es probable que, es triste que, es increíble que. Again, you need to be able to recognize those expressions. And the clue is you will always have that S and then an adjective. The subjunctive is also used for expressing doubt, uncertainty, and denial. Because remember, when we use this mood, you are expressing something that is uncertain, okay? So you're going to use verbs like dudar, negar, no creer y no pensar. You need to be very careful with these two verbs here, okay? Because if you have creer y pensar, then it's not expressing doubt anymore. If you have them in the affirmative form, it could be your personal opinion. Okay? If I say, yo creo que Dubuque es una ciudad bonita, it's my personal opinion. But if I say, no creo que, I'm expressing doubt. Okay? Also, to express request, preference, or advice. So you need to be careful with verbs like aconsejar, exigir, insistir, impedir, mandar, obligar, ordenar, oponer, pedir, recomendar. So when you think about the subjunctive, I want you to think of the word weirdo, okay? Just to summarize all the uses. Because it's a weird mood, okay? So weirdo stands for wishes, emotions, impersonal expressions, recommendations, doubt, and ojalá. In some situations, depending on the context, either the subjunctive or the indicative can be used in the noun clause. For example, with verbs with decir and pedir, you're going to use the indicative if you are reporting information. Okay, if I say, Juan dice que el torneo empieza a las 6. I'm saying that he said that the competition starts at 6. So he's just reporting some piece of information. But when I express a command, then you need to use the subjunctive. To illustrate that, I can say, Juan dice que empieces a trabajar ahora. So in this situation, he's not reporting a piece of information. It's a command. I'm saying he said that you should start. You have to start to work now. Remember we saw before, whenever you have the verbs creer or pensar, if they are in the affirmative form, you need to use the indicative. You cannot use the subjunctive. But if they are in the negative form, you need to use the subjunctive. Also, when you have verbs like quizás, tal vez, and acaso, and they convey certainty, you need to use the indicative. But when they convey uncertainty, you need to use the subjunctive. Some verbs like aconsejar, dejar, hacer, impedir, mandar, obligar a, ordenar, permitir, and prohibir, you need to use an infinitive in place of a noun clause. Okay? For example, if I say, mi esposo no me deja, he doesn't allow me, I am forced to use the infinitive, practicar el ballet. Well, I hope that was helpful. The next video, you're going to see the structure of the subjunctive. So make sure you check out the second video. Gracias.